Hey guys, so okay, welcome back to The Letter. Sorry it's been a while since I've uploaded a video for this series. I've been without internet for a week, and so I've been struggling to survive basically. I managed to pre-record a couple of episodes and uploaded it before I moved house, which is why I have no internet, but evidently I've run out of videos, so I'm here recording now and hopefully I can get this up somewhere. I've got a few friends who will be happy to lend me their internet, I'm sure. Anyway, let's continue on with Ashton's chapter here. He's about to head to the Ermengarde Mansion. Here we go. Within 10 minutes, I'm driving out of Luxbourne, heading straight for Anselm Village. Just like I said. In the distance, flashes of lightning light up the horizon, white and sharp against the black curtain of the night. Thunder threatens with a rumble seconds later, echoing long across the sky. And with one last roar, the sky is open in earnest. Hey, we made it to Tuesday, November 1, the last day in our journal. Oh god, here we go. Whew. The rain falls in fast, steady sheets, creating shallow puddles on the dirt path, drenching everything the eyes can reach. Despite having grown up in this city, I still despise the rain. Living here doesn't mean I have to like it. Lucky me, I've reached the mansion before the downpours turn torrential. The long slog from Anselm Village by foot has already been made difficult by the light drizzle and biting winds buffeting against my body every few seconds. By the time I found cover under the trees lining the vicinity of the mansion, my shoulders are already drenched. My hair is also sticking against my skin and out in every possible direction. Thankfully, the letter, taser, and gun I've brought with me has remained relatively dry. That's the most important thing. However, those are the least of my problems at the moment. Sometime after the housewarming party, scumbag, right, has suddenly grown a brain and tightened the security around the mansion. A guard is now stationed in every possible point of entry. The main entryway, the back door leading to the kitchens. Hell, it's almost a miracle no one spotted me once I entered the property. Although that's probably because I've kept close to the forest. While I can always create a clever way in for myself, under this deluge, it'll be difficult to do so without making much noise or leaving tracks.
I don't really have the luxury either, do I?
Not particularly, no. Considering how off this place feels since I've stepped in the property and the mansion came into view. Every light is off, even with the security personnel on patrol outside, the whole house itself. It feels empty, eerie, too quiet. Normally I'll pass it off as some kind of a power outage because of the storm. It's not a far-off conclusion when this place is almost in the middle of nowhere. However, something just feels wrong.
Something happened here.
Or about to. It's the sole reason why I haven't done anything yet. Simply observing, watching, listening for anything. I might be pressed for time, but I'm not a careless idiot. Although I need a way in, desperately so. Moving without thinking will not only endanger me. With so many unknown variables in what we're dealing with, I also have to act on the assumption that someone is always in danger, especially in this place. I can't act impetuously. As much as I hate Wright, I'm not about to cause his death because of one thoughtless action. If there's a place he deserves to be at, it's in prison, not a morgue. So when a hoarse, painful sob suddenly rings out above the loud pitter-patter of rain, only then do I stir. A woman, perhaps a servant, or worse, Hannah Wright. It's coming from the forest. Just right up ahead, in fact, not too far from the house. Regardless, I give the place a quick, wary glance before following the noise, carefully keeping to the shadows, one cautious step after another. Louder and louder it goes as I near, until it abruptly turns into a loud, desperate, anguished cry. I break into a run, one nervous hand ready on the gun holstered at my hip, and the other raised for balance as I scurry across the dense understory. Dead leaves crunch under my shoes, but I pay it no mind. There's only the voice, the woman, and nothing. Abruptly it all stops, and I'm met with a sudden hush. Blank. Empty. Almost deafening in its stillness, even with my labored breathing and pounding heartbeats against my ears. Behind me, another branch breaks, and...
Help me.
I'm good, thank you. Dread surges within me while I spin around and take a hard step back, ignoring the chilly pinpricks crawling at the back of my neck. Okay, you don't ask for help and then giggle like that, okay? That's not how you ask for help. But before I can even meet her eyes, the world unexpectedly pitches sideways, tilting. And tilting till the ground beneath me finally crumbles. My hands fight for purchase, only to meet air. By then it's too late. My foot slips further and the rest of my body follows. Oh no. Did we just fall? Dark spots blur the edges of my vision. Black tendrils twist and coil around my limbs. Soft footfalls echo from the far distance, scurrying, scampering, moving in an odd rhythm with the sharp, piercing notes of her laughter. But more than that are the voices, lacing venom inside every crevice in my head. Murmurs that jeer, scoff, and deride. Over, Because you didn't listen. And over. It's all your fault. And over again. Why won't you believe me? So these are all like, Isabella and stuff. A reminder of what I've failed to do and of who I've failed. What I'm trying to desperately fix. A scream threatens to burst, but my throat closes off. Ever so slowly a chill seeps into every nerve in my body, washing away every sensation in me apart from one. There's only fear. Once again, her laugh echoes. A sound both bitter and unforgiving. It's the last thing I hear before she reaches for me. The ground trembles. The world slows to a stop. Okay, looks like we're in the tunnel. This is where Marianne got left last time we saw her. Okay, here we go. Journal. The storm had started in earnest when Ashton arrived at the mansion. While trying to find a way in, the detective noticed the eerie silence that had enveloped the place. Something was wrong inside, but before he could figure it out, the sobs of a woman suddenly echoed. Great. Here we go. Half darkness greets me when my eyes finally snap open, the soft patter of dripping water somewhere spurring my consciousness further. For a few short moments I remained still, blinking away the dizziness. I guess we lost her? The ghost, that is. Allowing my vision to adjust to the lack of light and my breathing to even out first, before pushing myself up on one arm and attempting to stand. Turning alone is a struggle on its own. An inch of movement sends a stab of sharp pain right up my arms and my back, giving me another pause.
Shit. I hope I didn't break anything. Fuck.
There doesn't seem to be any injury or major fracture, although the whole of my back does feel sore and raw. Probably from when I've skidded down prior to landing myself here. A comforting thought. The second attempt comes easier later, though no less painful. By the time I'm back on my feet, the exertion has left me gasping in short, shallow breaths and leaning heavily on the wall nearest to me. Behind me, a light draft blows in from where I've fallen in, coming in short, sharp bursts into what's apparently an underground tunnel, and brings in the fresh, earthy smell of rain from the topside. Regardless, it fails to mask the old, musty smell of the place. The mixture of mold, mildew, dust, grease, and something distinctly foul. Like death. Oh my god. Hopefully Marianne's still alive here. More worrisome than the putrid, festering smell, however, are the cells that line both sides of the tunnel. Under the dim light, I can barely make out what's inside on some of them. But I already have a few ideas, all of which I refuse to delve into at the moment. Knowing how long this mansion has stood, somehow, no matter how unexpected finding the existence of this place is, it isn't too surprising.
I wonder if Scumbag knows about this.
Probably not, unless he's also the kind of person who takes joy in inflicting this kind of suffering on others. I don't really think so. He's rotten to the core, but not that rotten. He'll probably balk at this, move out at the first opportunity and have it demolished. The very idea of what has occurred in this place years ago makes me reel as well. I've known long ago places like this tend to hold secrets. This, though, if this is just the tip of the iceberg, I fear what I may discover in the mansion itself, and the tale behind that fucking letter. But fear's inconsequential. As unpleasant as the sight of this is, this place might also be the only way for me to get inside unnoticed. Sighing and taking one last gulp of clean air, I push away from the wall and delve deeper into the passage.
Let's just hope it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
Yeah, no, it's not gonna be smooth sailing and all that shit. Turns out that alone is too much to ask for this early. That's Marianne, right? Not the ghost. She said please rather than help me. No 20 paces into it, another sound abruptly rises above my footfalls, rebounding off the hollow walls and echoing inaudibly across the whole span of the tunnel, before fading away just as swiftly as it rang. I pause, nevertheless straining my ears for more of it, while I gradually move my hand to my side, slow and steady until the tips of my fingers brush off the gun's handle. Although cold against my skin, it's the closest thing I have to comfort at the moment. For a long minute I wait, holding my breath, watching every form, edge, and shadow at the corners of my vision for any movement. After a heartbeat and nothing, I allow the tension to ease out of me in the form of a long, slow exhale that reverberates across the whole passage.
Who's there?
That is Marianne. Good, she's alive. Perhaps it's because of what's happened here earlier, and how I've ended up here. Or maybe it's because of my training. But in spite of the panic and fear in that voice, I don't immediately answer. Smart. Instead, I pull my gun free from its holster and wordlessly draw closer to where the voice rings out once again. Afraid. Frantic. Weak?
I'm asking you a question. Who's there?
Oh my god, she sounds so terrified. It's only after I've released the safety do I answer, while continuing my approach in a careful, steady pace.
I think I should be the one asking you that! Who are you? Show yourself!
I'm I can't! I'm stuck in here!
Oh my god, man. She must have been here for like ages. Like what? 3 days? Was it the weekend? So it's Tuesday now. When did she get stuck? Was it Saturday? Doesn't look like it. Wait. Sorry, I just saw the camera and I was like, yeah. So she got stuck here on Friday. So this is like 3-4 days she's been stuck here. Well, a ghost will definitely not be saying that. Or have a conversation like this. Or be stuck anywhere. Yeah, logic would tell you that, but it could be a trap. But thankfully we know it's not. Unless the game's twisted something. I guess we should still be careful. And as if to prove her point, she extends a hand from one of the cells ahead and waves. Then she pulls back, grips the iron bars, and rattles it lightly.
I can't get out! Can you help?
In 5 quick steps, I'm standing in front of the cell, and sure enough, a woman's inside. Slumped on the floor, holding the bars with shaking hands, clinging to it as if it's the only thing keeping her upright. And not just any woman.
You? McLaughlin?
Yeah, they met at the bar, during Marianne's chapter. The same one I met at G's 5 days ago. Smashed drunk and babbling her frustrations about her employers.
Holmes?
No, not McLaughlin. McCullough. Marianne McCullough. Famous interior designer extraordinaire. Not so extraordinary now, with how exhausted and feeble she looks. Trapped in a jail cell of all things. Her breathing's shallow, and there's a paleness to her complexion. Sunken eyes, cracked lips, dry skin. All signs pointing to starvation and dehydration. Yeah, man, she's been here a long time.
What? How long have you been stuck in here?
3 days? 4? I don't know. I have no idea anymore. I just fell in and that woman... Whatever. Can you get me out of here? Please.
In a moment. But here, go feed yourself first before you fall over.
I fish out an energy bar from my pocket and hand it to her. She's lucky I always have one on my person. For sudden emergencies or extended stakeouts. A little sugar to keep me going. Like any starving person, she wastes no time making a grab for it, unwrapping it straight away, and taking in whole mouthfuls of it. Relief washes over her face on the first bite alone, although she's going to need more than that, if what she said is true. But for the moment it's enough to keep her alive. Good thing she seems to have the sense to prioritize survival over comfort, if the puddle on the corner of the cell indicates anything. Oh, gross. Without water, the human body can only survive 3 days. No food, and I'll give it an average of 3 weeks, though even then it won't be a pretty experience. Granted, some have survived longer than that. She's still fortunate I found her when I did. Now to get her out. My bobby pins won't be of any use here. Not like I need it. Unlike the ones we have at the precinct, a simple barrel hinge holds the gates to this cell together. Even without any special tools, I'll be able to lift the door and free her. However, with how heavy it seems, I'll need a lever of some sort to help.
What are you looking for?
Some wood, a 2x4 I guess, a plank or a pipe, anything I can use as a lever. Wait here.
The hallway yields nothing but dust, dirt, and a few rusted chains scattered about. While I may find something in one of the open cells, I'm reluctant to check or even step in. We can't have another person trapped in here, however McCullough ended up inside.
Well, there's no...
My head steps back to her. McCullough extricates a wooden board from under the mess of hay and twine near her. Without prompting, she slips it through what little space there is between the bars. It's short, but appears thick and sturdy enough for my intended purpose, upon closer inspection.
Good enough.
I hope. I get to work at once, anchoring the other end of the plank at the base of the door, and applying ample force on the other end. It takes a bit of effort, no kidding about the heavy part. Still, a grunt, a gasp, a creak. In a matter of minutes, with a little help from her on the other side, the door eventually lifts off its hinges. It falls on the ground with a loud, ugly, metallic thud, but the sound of it puts elation in McCullough's face. She doesn't even ask for help. As soon as she can, she hastily crawls out of the prison she's accidentally found herself in. More than happy to get out of it, despite lacking the strength to stand firmly on her feet.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Prison break. We did it, guys.
After the second day, I was so sure I was going to die in there. If you didn't show up...
We got you, you're alive, you're okay.
I don't even want to think about it.
Oh my god, she's so pale, look at her
How
face.
did you even end up here?
For a second she appears hesitant, looking away and fumbling awkwardly with her fingers.
I was looking for something. Someone.
A contemplative expression flickers in her eyes, something that's close to wistful, like when a person remembers a memory she's fond of. It doesn't last too long, but it still leaves me the impression that I've suddenly walked into something private, something deeply personal for her. I'd rather not ask.
So this whole tunnel, at the end of it, it leads right inside the mansion?
The wine cellar.
Right into the kitchen, then.
There's a door of some sorts. I don't know. I think I pulled or pressed something somewhere. I was in a hurry, and I'm not sure if it'll open from this side. Hell, this place wasn't even in the floor plans!
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Oh, sorry. I thought the game glitched out again.
Does that really matter now? We have to get out of here! People died in this place! Kids! Oh God! Kids!
Oh, that's right. That was on the video camera.
I could have shown you, but that thing won't turn back on anymore. It's like it only waited for me to see it before shutting down or something. How long has that thing even been in there? But those poor kids. All because of that thing.
Wait, hold on. What are you talking about right now?
The bloody letter! Ever since I've read that thing, since that day at the open house, she won't leave me. But it should be fine now, right? I broke it. I broke all of it. She shouldn't be able to do anything now.
Mikala, one at a time.
It's all that fucking paper's fault! Oh God. Oh God. Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless those poor souls. We're not safe here. We need to leave. If we stay here any longer...
Mikala!
Abruptly she stops, looks back at me with wild, panic-stricken eyes. I've seen enough of it so many times these past few days, from my own friends even. To know she's seen things, the kind that'll easily make any person go mad. And perhaps we slowly are. The longer this takes, the faster our descent into it becomes. I can't even tell which one's worse, death or this. Seems like no matter what we end up with, there'll be something horrible waiting for us. I need to hurry.
Listen, I need to get inside this place, and you're more familiar with its layout. If you can help me...
What? No! Why would I go back? Are you sure you haven't gotten raving mad yet?
I don't know.
An exit's right here.
And this business with the letter has to end at some point. Look, I know you're not very fond of Luke Wright.
Damn right I'm not. He can just go.
But are you really sure you want to leave him like this? And what about his wife?
It strikes a chord. She falters, grows quiet as the tension lifts from her, and her shoulders slump. I do understand her issues with this. In fact, she doesn't have to go with me. Only tell me enough info so I can figure it out on my own. She can always leave afterwards, be done with this whole damn mansion in a letter. The other end of this tunnel leads right into the forest. It'll provide ample cover for her to be able to slip out of the property unnoticed. All the same, she steels herself and squares her shoulders.
Just until the kitchens.
She won't be able to get far. She hasn't drunken or eaten anything for days. Like, we just literally gave her an energy bar.
That's more than enough.
She nods, albeit weakly. Then, without another word, she gestures for me to follow, leading me further into the passage. Here we go. Here we bloody go. After his fall, Ashton found himself in an underground passage when he came to. There he encountered Marianne McCullough, who got trapped in one of the jail cells for several days. The detective managed to free her, and in turn, she helped him find a way into the mansion. Nice. Occasionally, she'll stop, find purchase on the wall to catch her breath, but throughout the short walk, she asks for neither a break nor assistance. I suppose that's something we have in common. Eventually, we get to a dead end. Although before I can question her on it, she begins palming for something on the wall, tracing her fingers along weathered edges of the bricks with a frown on her face.
It should be somewhere here, I think.
What the hell are you doing?
She merely holds up a hand, begging for my silence, and continues searching. Then, without warning, a few minutes later, something clicks. A portion of the wall shifts ajar to reveal a glimpse of another room. Bottles lining the walls, liquor barrels for aging. The wine cellar, indeed.
The ladder to the kitchen is on the far end of this room.
Surreal. This is all nothing but a surreal nightmare. But after everything, should this even surprise me? Ghosts, curses, hidden passages. I can't even bring myself to question the existence of this door anymore. I simply follow her into the undercroft without a single question, in spite of a number of them already swimming inside my head. As a kid, I used to crave for this kind of adventure. The stuff of mystery and detective novels, daring chases, interesting cases to solve, suspects to put behind bars, justice to serve. I was blinded, I admit. Now, I simply want this to be over. We'll leave the door open in case there's a need for a quick exit, especially after she mentions it's only by chance she's been able to open the door last time. We can't waste time finding the switch again on the occasion something goes horribly wrong. There's bound to be, with with me feeling this high-strung and tense. I'm not even sure why I thought it would be a good idea to enlist McCullough's help, although she's been quite helpful so far. I can't shake off the horrible feeling something's going to happen to her if she stays with me. Even if I'm her safest bet if she wants to get out of this place alive.
You really believe that, don't you?
Fucking hell.
Did you say something?
That was, Lorraine, wasn't it? That's Lorraine's voice. McCullough pauses mid-step, turning to me confused.
I didn't.
You sure? I just heard...
Don't you think I'll be the first person who'll know? Look, the ladder leading to the kitchen's up ahead. You might want to hurry. I just want to be done with this place.
See? You dragged another one.
This time I'm sure. There's really a voice. Well, voices. Despite the look of protest, McCullough shoots me. I find myself stopping and looking for it, searching the immediate surrounding for the familiar form of a woman. I don't even have to venture too far from where I'm standing. Just an arm's length away from me, mirror shards little to the floor, and right on the biggest fragments, they speak. Oh god, I can recognize Rebecca's face. Is that Zach's? There's the ghost. I can't quite picture what that other face would be, but I'm assuming if this is all our friends, that would be Isabella's face. All singing the same mocking tune against my ears, letting it echo throughout the small undercroft. Murmurs and laughters, jeering, scoffing, deriding, lacing venom into every crevice in my head, taunting me.
You dragged another person into this, Ashton.
That's Isabella's voice.
Into another one of your silly little problems.
All because you can't fix them on your own. You really haven't changed, have you? Some hero you are.
Useless.
Pathetic.
You're wrong.
My mistake lies in this first instance I've answered. Very second denial has slipped from my mouth. The words have also seeped into my heart, allowing it to prod at and rouse my temper. Despite knowing they are merely doing this to goad me, each word, each syllable trickle into me, spurring the guilt I hope I've long buried.
Are we? Or is that simply what you've been telling yourself all this time? Something to make yourself feel better, perhaps? What about Becca? Oh, the way she fell to her death. But all you did was watch.
You son of a bitch!
Someone's dead because of you.
You're the one who took that letter off Isabella's hand that day. You're the one who opened it.
How does it feel, I wonder? To know you're responsible for all of this?
What do you think I'm doing? Why do you think I'm still trying to fix this?
It wasn't our fault, it's you! You're responsible! You're a freaking ghost!
Oh, but you can't. It's already too late. And you know that. You know all of this is futile.
Just face it, Ashton Frey. You're a failure, and they are the ones who have to pay for it.
A badge and a gun, and you still can't protect your own friends. Can't even solve a case for an old man.
Can't even bring Luke right to justice.
Can't even keep his own family together.
Wow.
No wonder they left you. Before you do the same thing to them.
Mom and Dad are better off without little old you, aren't they? It's a good thing they had the sense.
Honestly, it would be so hard not to get pissed off at this point if I was Ash.
Pitiful, isn't it? Some detective you are. Some friend you are. Some son you are. You might as well just throw that rank away. You're no use to people either way.
Shut it!
I hate this. I hate all this monster can easily get through to me. Every weakness, every insecurity it knows. To hear it said in my friend's voice even more so. But what I hate above all of it is...
You know it's true, though.
All of it. It's why all you can do is tell us to shut up. You don't want to hear a single word, because you're already aware of it. You can't even admit it to yourself. Who's the coward now?
Wow.
But no matter how hard you try, you're not gonna be able to say it anymore.
This ghost is a master troll.
Shut it! Not a single word anymore!
It laughs, sharp and piercing. At its sound, something in me snaps, a rage hastily unfurling, red filling my vision. And the next thing I know, I'm raising my hand and something grabs at my wrist, followed by a buzz as another voice breaks through the haze.
Don't listen to it!
Finally, jeez, Marianne, come on. You need to get with the program, man. Get Ashton to calm down. The fog from my mind lifts. Every sound, every noise returns to me. flooding my every senses. All at once, there's this deafening silence. Slowly, I become aware of my surroundings. Bottles of wine, barrels of liquor, the faint old scent of death and decay somewhere, and a hand holding onto my wrist, as if to keep me from hurting myself. In my hands, a shard. Blood drips from wherein it's cut my palm, trailing down my wrist until it disappears behind my sleeve. Not too deep, negligible even. There is a pain, however. A different kind. An ache somewhere else that stems not from the wound, but where every single word is hit. When I glance up at McCullough, she merely stares at me with wide, horrified eyes.
Don't listen to it! No matter what happens, don't do what it says! It's how it gets us.
My grip on the shard falters, but only after I nod and drop it entirely does she release her grip. Afterwards, she simply steps back and looks away, hugging her arms closer to herself. She breathes a sigh, heavy, perhaps weighted down with her own guilt, what this monster might have used against her.
Come on, we're getting close.
Oh God. She walks off without another comment, but there's worry in her as she gives the fragments one last glimpse. Here we go, journal update. Before he could go deeper into the wine cellar, Ashton began to hear voices coming from the shards on the floor, mocking him for his failures. Though before he could do anything rash, Marianne stopped him. Belatedly, he realized he'd picked up a broken mirror shard. On the ground, they lie lifeless now. No more voices, no more insults. But even as I walk away, one whispered taunt continues to ring in my ears.
It's useless, Ashton Frey.
Shut the hell up, you stupid-ass ghost!
You are going to die.
And you are going to die alone.